Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. And once again, it's the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Totally pumped for this exciting Tuesday. So much excitement for a Tuesday, Brian.
So much excitement.
I feel great.
But at the same time, we talked about it. Scheduling error. Besides only
the
4
two games.
How about bearing it on a Tuesday, though? What's wrong with the weekend series, no?
I mean, obviously, you know, you love to see the weekend series, but I feel like, Tuesday, I don't mind. 7 o'clock at night, we're home. Gives you something to look forward to during the week, No? Why, you trying to get popped, dude?
No, it's not that. I just feel like it deserves, special recognition and not just, oh, yeah, quick Tuesday, Wednesday series and see you next month at Yankee Stadium. It's just, I feel like it's almost swept under the rug in that regard. I don't know.
No, yeah, I can see what you're saying. I agree.
But, let's get in depth with it. The world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. A back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
There's damage right there. Shohei, way, Cy-Yo, nada, where did that land?
Stuck to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires, out at first.
There it goes, see ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
All right, Tony. We were just talking about it pre-show. What a debacle for the two of us last night with the picks, collectively going 1-7. That does not happen, too often. And just kind of out of, general curiosity here, which loss would you say surprised you the most out of, all of these picks here?
I would probably say Houston, honestly.
Okay, so a 7-5 over Houston here. And yeah, just the fact too, and I know, Oakland's playing at home and this and that, but of course we know, nobody goes to the games. But the fact that, they have one of the worst offenses I've ever seen, and obviously in the major leagues this year, but to put up 7 runs, 10 hits against Houston, against Jake Odorizzi, who, had a respectable ERA coming into this game and leaves with a 4.25 after giving up 6 runs over 5. Yeah. And, you look at where the offense came from the A's, Tony Kemp with a home run, as well as Bolt, and you had 3 hits from Elvis Andrus. So pretty surprising result here. And I think the key for them was, other than Lou Trevino giving up a meaningless run in the 9th, I mean, the bullpen just shut down this Houston lineup. And I think almost that gives, with all the worries about, the Yankees when they have to face Houston, I mean, I think that's a perfect example of any game, anything can happen. You just have to be prepared no matter who the opponent is. You can't have, preconceived notions going into a matchup.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like you said, just like the Yankees with the Astros. What about for you? What was your, I guess, most surprising
I had to go,
loss?
and it's funny, it wasn't even my pick.
Dodgers,
yeah. I mean, what happened, Tony? No pun intended there.
Yeah, Gonsolin. I mean, he went 6 innings, but I mean, he was getting hit up. I think gave up 4 earned runs. Juan Soto had a big triple, though. I don't know if it was a bases clearing triple or it was a 2 RBI triple, but that at that point that made it 4-1. And I guess the Dodgers, which we've seen them struggle with, at bats, during the season, just would never expect it to be against Washington. Couldn't score anything more than 1 run. So.
Yeah. And I think, you kind of look at it, a couple of reasons why I think they struggle from time to time. We know Trey Turner and Freddie Freeman are having nice seasons themselves. So, both hitting over 300 with OPS or on base percentages of at least 350. And, Turner almost slugging 500, Freeman 540. And Mookie Betts, I don't know what happened with Mookie. Like, made the All-Star team, definitely having a good season, hit some home runs, but Is it just me, or did he used to hit for a lot higher average than he has the last couple seasons?
What's his average right now?
266. I feel like that's low for him.
Yeah, but I mean, you think given like just I guess the circumstances this season, I don't know, dude. But yeah, 266, I would think is a little low for him, I suppose. But he's got a lot of home runs, no?
So let me actually just pull up the full numbers here. Obviously, was it just a 10-year contract, or was it 12 or something? Like, I know it was something ridiculous that he signed.
I think it was 12.
Okay, so
no way it was more than that, right?
22 home runs, 51 RBIs. So I mean, obviously that's really solid production. And I'm just trying to look at like career numbers here for him. So his career batting average is 294. And his lowest batting average as a member of the Boston Red Sox one season was 264. Other than that, it was 291. So last year was the abbreviation 264 in 122 games. And last year he hit 23 home runs in 466 at bats. And this year he has 22 home runs and 320 at bats. So obviously the power stroke is up. So I guess we could attribute it to that. But I don't know. He was always a guy I thought could, at any moment could win a batting title.
I know.
No, what were you gonna say?
No, I would say I feel like a lot of the Dodgers are kind of like that, and I don't know, maybe if it's just their organization, but I mean, when you think about like what Cody Bellinger's looking like.
Yeah, I was gonna mention Cody Bellinger, Max Muncy.
Yeah.
So Muncy hitting 160, Bellinger hitting 204. And then not in the lineup yesterday. He's banged up Justin Turner, who has come on recently, but his numbers aren't where they've used to been. So you couple all of that stuff. I think that's the reason why you see, inconsistent offensive performances from them.
It's a shame because I mean, it's the fucking Dodgers, dude. They should be a powerhouse. Like,
yeah. So I think for the most part, you have to attribute this loss to, only scoring one run. I mean, of course, you would assume, Gonsolin would have given you maybe 6 innings, 2 earned, but even if he did do that,
you still would have lost.
You still didn't score. So I think that's all it is. Just kind of a dead offensive night for them. And then another one too. How about the Tigers 12-4 over San Diego?
Oh my God, that is crazy, dude. The Tigers, Javi Baez, how do you do?
Let's see. So Javi Baez 1 for 3 with an RBI double, 2 RBIs, hitting 218.
Okay.
But Miguel Cabrera homered. Haas and Candelario, who I'm not really that familiar with, homered as well. So kind of some unknown names. And Hutchinson didn't exactly pitch like Cy Young. I mean, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs. But Sean Manaea, 3 1/3, 8 hits, 9 runs, and 4 only earned. So one of those crazy things where there's 2 outs, there's an error or whatnot. But he's really struggled his last few starts, and I don't know. I still feel pretty confident about him moving forward, but it just, I guess when you have these pitchers, who've made all-star teams or, usually have representative numbers, I guess it's like they just go through stuff and you're really not going to put a finger on it other than, this is slightly off, that's slightly off type of thing.
I mean, there's a lot slightly off. Looking at his last few starts, and these are not against great teams, by the way. Obviously, we know the Tigers last night. Arizona, earlier this month on the 16th, he went 6 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. Colorado, he went 6 innings, giving up 2 earned runs. But then against Seattle, 3 1/3, giving up 4. Before that, Arizona, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, which isn't terrible, I suppose. But I mean, against a team like Arizona, like Colorado, even, I mean, giving up 3 runs. Come on, dude. I mean, you should be a little better than that
because he's supposed to be, an all-star level type pitcher. So I just think an ERA over 4 isn't really, what they signed up for when they made this offseason trade to acquire him.
I mean, the last, 5 outings, you're giving up 16 runs, right? 8, 6, and 2 is 8, 16. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. He just might be going through something.
Yeah.
And then the only other game I wanted to mention, before we get to the ones, tonight, and I was talking about this with you before the show, Phillies come back courtesy of Bryson Stout, the young shortstop, former first-round pick, hitting a 3-run homer off of A.J. Minter in the 8th inning, giving the Phillies a 6-4 victory, come from behind. And obviously, the Braves had an opportunity here to, pick up a half game on the Mets with a win. Just don't get the job done. And, it's funny you were mentioning Schwarber, 0 for 4, only 1 strikeout, but average sits at 202. And while Stout's numbers aren't great yet, I could just sometimes when even the numbers don't look good, but you just see it in the player.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like with him. I mean,
Yeah, and he's young, right?
he's 24.
24.
He's hitting 196, but he does have 7 home runs, 31
Mm.
RBIs, and it is his rookie season. So I mean, you
Yeah.
got to think about that as well.
Mm.
And what do you think? Just going forward with this Phillies team. I mean, you think they have a chance here to make some noise and get into the
Wild
first
card?
round of the playoffs with the wild card? Or
I mean, look at the stand. What are they? A couple games back of the wild card, right?
yeah, let's see. What
They're
we got
pretty
for-
close.
And obviously, I think a lot of this
see.
hinges on Harper
Returning. Yeah,
returning,
I know.
which he is expected to. It's
Mhm.
just when.
Let's see. So for the wild card in the
Half game back.
NL, half game back of St.
St.
Louis,
Louis.
too. So, yeah, I think it's possible, especially when you're looking at St. Louis. I mean, I think is a beatable team for them, and San Diego even too. I mean, they're 2.5 ahead of St. Louis. So, it's pretty crazy. Even when you're just thinking like, I mean, Phillies are what 4 games above 500.
Right.
Given their circumstances this season, I feel like that's not too bad.
No,
Right?
with managerial change and the Harper
Harper
injury.
being injured, and
The only thing I would say is I think it's going to be tough to knock the Braves or San Diego out of this wild card race. So you're really looking at St. Louis, and like you said, I know they are beatable, they are inconsistent, but at the same time, I think it is going to be tough. And then imagine if they get Juan Soto, then you're really facing an uphill battle.
Yeah, it's true. But I think it's doable. And what are they? It looks like San Fran's 2.5 games back from them.
Yeah.
That should be interesting to see what the Giants could do too.
So we'll have an interesting race coming up in really both leagues, to see who's going to get in, who's out. But obviously the big focus, starting today and like you mentioned earlier, is the Subway Series at Citi Field. I heard
go, baby.
Minimum tickets $110 to get in the door.
That's not that's not too bad.
Not too bad, but at the same time, I don't know. Tuesday night, and I know it's Yankees Mets, but I think it should be like, I don't know. Do the Mets have standing room seats or no?
No.
Okay. But I don't know. I think it should be $60. I mean, to be in the nosebleeds to pay over $100 on a Tuesday night. Call me crazy, Tony, but
you're crazy.
But anyway,
You're just crazy.
I heard this nugget coming in. I want to say it was on the morning show. Gio's out, dude? But Boomer is there. But this one is actually going to be available 3 different ways. Obviously, Tony's favorite way, the SNY broadcast with Gary Cohen and the boys, and of course, the Yankee broadcast with Kay and the others. But we do have a third option, and it's not going to be blacked out, which is interesting because usually they do that. TBS is carrying this game, and Bob Costas will be on the call. So I think I got to check out a little bit of that. I think it's hilarious when he announces baseball.
He's a big Yankee boy, isn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. But I just thought that was interesting. But coming into this, the odds makers making the Yankees slight favorites, minus 125. I believe the Mets are minus 112. At least of earlier this morning, that's what they were saying. And they find themselves here with a pitching matchup of Tawan Walker and Jordan Montgomery. So if you look at the numbers, I mean, relatively, similar performances this year. I mean, I think Monty, maybe the last month, his ERA has risen a little bit to kind of make it appear, Walker, kind of has the upper hand here. But I don't know. I think just generally speaking, let's take numbers out of it. I think they have similar abilities, Tony. I don't think one guy is that much above the other one. I know Walker's had a nice run this season, but you have to keep in mind what he's done down the stretch, last year and in other years prior.
No, yeah, for sure. But I feel like right now, I mean, Walker, I feel like has a little bit of momentum in his favor.
Yeah, I mean, but what's your confidence level? Because I mean, I know he killed you last year, second half. So I mean, you can't be like 100%. Oh, he'll end with an ERA, under 3. I mean, I think that'll be a tall ask, honestly.
I think his ERA will be touching 3 come the end of the season, and I think that like you said, after halfway through the season, he really just absolutely killed us, in terms of just inability to perform, to find the strike zone, to have any type of location, control issues out the wazoo. And we attributed a lot of that to his hot start off the rip of the season. And I mean, I don't know. I think, I mentioned before, he seems to be in better shape now. He is a big dude. And I still feel like, it's not like he was lights out this entire season so far for the first half. He struggled a little bit, but he found his way. And like I said, it seems like he is in better shape. I think he'll come out of the All-Star break pretty hot. And it's definitely is a good challenge for him and a good time to prove himself. And I think he's going to rise, no pun intended, to the occasion.
Yeah, and I think, what a better way to start.
Mhm.
I think it shows, the magnitude of the moment here.
yeah, dude.
Subway Series game, facing a team with the best record in the
Even
league with
if
the
it's on a
Yankees.
Tuesday, dude.
Even if it is on a Tuesday. So I think this, a good start here. Win or loss for the Mets, but just a quality start out of Walker, I think would go a huge way
No.
for his confidence.
No.
Let's see. Your mother says, "Hi,
Hello.
fellas."
My mom will definitely be tuning into the game.
Yeah,
for sure
so,
tonight.
Gonna be a good one. So can't wait to watch it. And other than, of course, like you said, Walker setting the tone. In terms of the Mets, securing a victory tonight, what else do you think is key? What do you want to see early to kind of give you that confidence they're going to be able to get this one done?
Well, early on would obviously be hitting up on Monty, but what I do really want to see is Alonso to have a good night. I want to see like 3 for 4 with a dinger, maybe like an RBI single, couple of nice defensive plays at first, because I want to show Michael how marketable Pete Alonso could be. Not just with those level of play, with the looks, whatever. But honestly, I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce back game for Marte. We talked about yesterday. He had a little bit of a lull of a weekend. And I feel like most of our batters did. Guillorme did terrible, and Dor as well. I want to see us get on base early. Maybe first inning. I'm not saying score, but get a couple guys on. You can leave them on, whatever. But just show that you can get on base, and then build upon that momentum throughout the game. And yeah, that's basically it, dude.
Yeah, and I would say, on my side of things, obviously, we want to see Monty, give him a solid performance like he has many times. And, he seems to always limit the damage. And I think against the Mets, I think he has a pretty good opportunity here because, like you said, they've definitely had some offensive struggles, at times. And I'm not saying he's going to pitch 6 scoreless, but I would expect him to do 6 innings of 2-run ball. I think that'll give him a really good shot to win here. And kind of like what you said about jumping on Monty early. For the other way, I think you definitely want to get Walker rattled. I think if he's rattled early, you really could pile on some runs. And, what we've seen, this season is when Aaron Judge goes, the Yankees offense goes. But I have also mentioned to you, DJ LeMahieu has really been hot lately. So, it's very conceivable to see, DJ, ripping that opposite field single, Judge coming up to the plate, 2-run dinger,
right?
2-0 Yankees early. I think that would be big, but also we need to see some other contributions because he can't be doing all of the heavy lifting, because we definitely have had some games where he doesn't do anything and then no one else does, and we score like 1 run. So, the Matt Carpenters of the world, of course, you'd expect him to do something. And I think it would be nice to see Josh Donaldson actually have a pulse. Is it just me, or is he the least recognizable former MVP that's ever played for the Yankees in the past 10 years?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I would say that easily.
You forget he's even on the team.
I know, you do. You forget he was an MVP.
Yeah. But he was, dude, for the Blue Jays, oh my God,
I know. Even when he was on the Braves, he was nice too.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. Something else underrated. No one knows about this, not to cut you off, Tony, but IKF working on an 11-game hit streak as well.
Wow. It's going to stop tonight.
Are you sure? Confident?
Yeah, confident. No, I was going to say, I'm really excited to see, honestly, what happens after, the starting pitching. Both of our bullpens are obviously rested. No one played yesterday. So I think you're going to see, obviously, the best out of the bullpen right away. Well-rested bullpen guys. I'm sure we'll be using Ottavino, Diaz. You'll be using Holmes, and I don't know, Licky.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you that. So let's just hypothetical scenario here. Let's say 2-2 after 6. Mets are tapping in the bullpen. Line me up 7, 8, and 9, and let's assume we're either tied or having a lead in the 9th inning.
Honestly, I would probably put the Mets on for Ottavino 2 innings.
2 innings.
2
Okay.
innings.
Yep.
And then Diaz in the 9th.
Diaz in the ninth, just
Yeah.
because you feel like you can't.
I mean, Lugo in a tight spot, I'm not confident. Ottavino, we've seen him go for 2 innings as long as he's rested, and it's been good. So why not?
And on my side of things, I'm thinking probably. I think they
Chapman
want.
in the 8th.
No, Chapman's not pitching in this game. But I think honestly they might, and I'm in favor of it, even though it's a risk to take, but you got to get him right. Give me Loizaga in the 7th, and then I would say Wandy in the 8th. Finish by Holmes in the 9th. And if you needed to go to the pen earlier, a guy I mentioned yesterday, even though you're convinced that he can't be a starter, Clark Schmidt possibly could get in the mix.
Out of the pen, though, I like it.
And Marciano is a name to watch out for. I think he can be pretty good as well. So it's you're not short of options. You just don't have as many as you did at the beginning of this year. But I mean, all of that being said, I mean, obviously you have Licky as well. There are places to go. So I think they will be able to piece this together. And coming off an off day like you speak of, I think that's just very important.
Yeah. It's gonna make for some great baseball.
Should be a great game. I could see it being 1 run either way. But give me your synopsis here, Tony.
Okay. I would say scoring starts off 4th inning. Yankees started off. No lineups out yet, obviously, right? I guess maybe like a stand-up RBI double from Judge.
Okay.
1-0. Bottom 4. Alonso, solo home run, 1-1. No more scoring till the 7th. I would say Jeff McNeil, RBI single, 2-1. And then pitching duel from there, Mets win 2-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about an old school type of game.
Yeah, dude. Let's go.
I'm going to stick with what I had said earlier with the Judge 2-run homer in the 1st. I think, let's call it 4th inning. So I guess bottom of the 4th. I could see Alonso answering, 2-run homer.
Oh.
And then I want to say where the Yankees win this game, 8th inning, Ottavino, maybe he throws 8 pitches in the 7th.
No
Looks
way.
great.
Okay, all right,
Everybody's confident. And then I want to say Matt Carpenter leads off with a double. And then Gleyber Torres comes up, 2-run homer, 4-2 lead for the Yankees. And I think Holmes shuts him down in the 9th. 1, 2, and 3. Yankees take game 1 of the Subway Series. And I say for our pick segment, we'll just go heads up with this one. I mean, what other way would we do it?
I know.
So we'll do that. And like I mentioned, it was a complete disaster yesterday with the picks. So right now,
funny,
you have the upper hand here at 20-12, and I'm only 17-15. So you got Mets, I got Yankees. I believe we're set with a full slate here. So we got 3 more each. If you'd like to lead off, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's see what we got here. I'll put myself a little full screen action. Why not? Give Brian a rest. I know I'm gonna try and dude, at this point, yesterday's got me all discombobulated. Who knows what's going on?
Right.
Fucking Dylan Bundy. All right, give me the Giants over Arizona. Just talking about them. They did lose, obviously, we know, to Arizona last night, 7-0. Obviously, pretty crazy game. But what do we got? Carlos Rodon on the mound for the Giants. Touch under 3 at a 2.95 ERA, 110 innings pitched, 138 strikeouts. That's a phenomenal strikeout rate right there. And I would imagine he will make minced meat of the Arizona's Diamondbacks lineup. And I mean, just looking at yesterday's game, a 7-0 loss. Having Jacob Junis on the mound. Went 4 1/3, 1 earned run, and then the bullpen just couldn't hold it together. After that, after a heavy bullpen game, and I would imagine with Rodon on the mound, they're not going to be going to the bullpen. Give me 7 scoreless from him. Giants win this one 4-0.
Yeah, I
Right,
really
dude?
like the way he's pitched this year. And I think, after a game like yesterday and where they find themselves in the standings, I mean, obviously been a very disappointing start to this season. And I think part of that too is I don't think we can underestimate the effect, even though the numbers didn't pop off the page, but the effect that Chris Bryant had when he came over last year. And I was somewhat surprised that they let him go to the Rockies, but maybe they're delusional and think they have a shot at Aaron Judge in the offseason. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's why they did that.
The only thing I'm worried about with Rodon, which I mean, personally, I mean, it's just something to talk about, but personally, I don't think it'll affect him that much. But earlier in the month, he threw a full game, 9 innings, 1 earned run. And then after that, his last 2 outings were both 5 innings. And his last outing on the 21st was 5 innings, giving up 5 earned runs. Do you think pitching that full game is has anything to do with that?
Yes, but who was the follow-up game against?
After the full game, it was Milwaukee,
and then the full game was against
the Padres.
So, yeah, I mean, just kind of thinking about that because Milwaukee's had struggled to score. So you'd think against a good pitcher like him, they wouldn't have success. But if you're fatigued,
there were 112 pitches.
You're a tick off.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen. So I do think. But that always goes both ways. I mean, we talk about this all the time. I've always been in favor of just running the guys to the ground. I think we baby everyone too much. But that's why it shows. There's no perfect answer either way. I think that's the key with everything here. So for my second pick here, I'm going to go with Toronto. I like the way that they've played recently. That dismantling of the Boston Red Sox. I mean, always going to love to see that. And, it's funny. I was so nervous about them heading into this year. And you look at the standings. I mean, they're only 10 games over 500. I mean, really a big disappointment so far. But I think there's room to run here. And one positive, I guess it's not regression, but just positive improvement I would expect is Jose Berrios, who happens to be on the mound tonight. I just think, listen, maybe he's not the guy that we thought potentially could ever win a Cy Young, but at the same time, he's not a guy whose ERA should be over 5. So I think we're going to see him pitch some of his best baseball. And listen, tall task in the Cardinals, you would think, but you can't forget Goldschmidt and Arenado not eligible to travel to Canada. So they're not going to be in the lineup. So that is a huge ask for them to win a game in Toronto without those guys. So I think Blue Jays run away with this one. And I think they just kind of get discouraged early. The Jays maybe, get a Vladdy home run in the first inning, maybe a 3-run shot. And then it's all downhill for the Cardinals. 8-1 Blue Jays, Berrios, 7 innings, 1 earned, 10 strikeouts.
That's pretty crazy about Goldschmidt and Arenado.
Yeah. I mean, right? I mean, that's like saying the Yankees are going to play in Toronto, no Judge or Stanton. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So.
All right. Dude, that coffee is looking mighty white.
I mean, Tony, we can run back to the tape.
All right. I think I'm going to go with the White Sox today. They're in Colorado. Just looking at even the pitching matchup, Kopech is on the mound for the White Sox. The Rockies have Herman Marquez. I mean, Kopech has pitched pretty decently. He's 3-6 in the season. I think that's he struggled a little bit, but also I feel like the White Sox offense has kind of struggled. I feel like this season as well to kind of let him down in a few outings. 3.36 ERA, 74 strikeouts. I think over 110 innings pitched.
Kind of surprised about that.
What? Just
Kopech. I mean, I saw him pitch against the Yankees last year, Field of Dreams.
Right.
He's got good stuff, but the strikeouts aren't there.
I know it is tough. I don't know. I guess you've seen him maybe more than I, but does he give a lot of ground ball guy or?
I guess some of that, with the soft contact, but also just, I guess it may possibly missing some locations, but and maybe too. I mean, you have guys that their stuff just plays better out of the bullpen. So I think
Right.
he doesn't have a huge repertoire of pitches for a starting pitcher. So I think as we get into the second and third at bats, that's where those, he doesn't get strikeouts and he is giving up hits.
Right. Okay. Well, I think, one thing I feel like I've seen this season is that it doesn't really give you much distance. A lot of like 5 1/3, 5 2/3. I like to see him. Let's put him down for 6 tonight. 6 innings, 2 earned runs,
3 strikeouts,
4 strikeouts, right?
Which it sounds very, very weak.
I know it does sound kind of weak, but that's what we're looking at right here. And I feel like, Chicago is just like lacked, a lot of power this season. I mean, where's Jose Abreu?
Where's Jose Abreu? Where's La Russa? Is he in the local distillery?
He's got to be, dude. Regardless, Luis Robert and Tim Anderson has been batting really well. Robert's average is a 301. Anderson's is a 310. He's slugging 412 too. Robert has only 12 homers, but 54 dingers and 54 RBIs on this season. So I would expect them, do pretty well. Runners in scoring position, bring them in. They just split a series with Cleveland, who we've seen what they can do. Colorado's coming off a couple of tough losses against Milwaukee. Just kind of being in those tight situations where they can they have runners, they have an opportunity to kind of take the lead late in the game, and they just can't convert on it. And I feel like, that's been Colorado's, I guess, bigger downfall. Talk about Chris Bryant, coming over to the Giants doing well. Chris Bryant, what has he done for Colorado? Hitting the clutch? I haven't seen it this season. So give me the White Sox. I would say, I don't know, 3-1.
I like it.
Thank you, Brian.
Low scoring game though for Coors Field.
Yeah, no, it will be. Dude, come on.
But and Chris Bryant, I think, is out seeing a foot specialist. So
he is.
That has been a disastrous free agent signing for them.
It really has.
And I'm gonna go with the Padres to bounce back. I know they didn't do me well yesterday. And they've lost 2 in a row, 4-6 overall. Only a plus 24 run differential. And you look at that, second in the AL West here. And the Dodgers have plus 178. There shouldn't be that much of a discrepancy. And I know, obviously, Tatis missing is such a big thing, but at the same time, there's enough juice there. We know the special player that Manny Machado is, and I think they have some good role guys, supporting him. Eric Hosmer, he makes contact at least, so that gives you something. So with all of that being said, I think this is a bounce back spot. I think Mike Clevenger, the former Cleveland Indian, gives him 6 1/3, 8 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 earned. And I'm going to say Padres here over Detroit. Maybe Baez hits a solo shot in the 8th. But I think it's Padres 8-1.
Okay. I like that. Run. Oh, nice. Let's go. There we go.
Back.
All right. We're back here. Ladies and gentlemen, internet issues, technical difficulties. You've seen.
Oh, stop.
Oh, we're back. Okay,
oh.
Cool. You just gotta yell at it, dude. You gotta curse it out a little bit. All right, real quick. I'm gonna go with the Dodgers before we lose anything. Mitch White on the mound. Had a tough outing against St. Louis, I think 2 outings ago, but then nice bounce back. 5 innings, no earned runs. Only 1 hit against San Francisco. Talk about a low strikeout rate. However, I think a good bounce back look for the young pitcher here for the Dodgers, Mitch White. And I just feel like the Dodgers not being able to hit 2 games in a row against the Nationals. Josiah Gray, 4.4 ERA, 7.6 in the season, has given up 21 home runs. I guess has a good high strikeout rate, but 92 innings pitched, 106 Ks, still get up 78 hits, 39 walks, 21 home runs. I don't know. I feel like that's quite a bit, and I feel like you're going to see Freddie Freeman, who I think could be the face of baseball, honestly, because he's that great of a player, nice guy. He's going to lead the Dodgers to a victory. 2 dingers for Freeman tonight. Maybe another dinger for Mookie Betts too. Why not? Give him a little bit here. Dodgers take it 5-1.
Love it.
Let's
I mean,
go,
we're all
baby.
about bounce back spots today.
Yeah.
Law of average.
I mean, it has to be. Everyone fucking lost last night. That we won.
Speaking of another team that lost, Houston Astros,
Oh.
Valdez on the hill.
You're going with the Astros tonight?
And it's just like, come on. The A's are so trash. It's not even close. And I just think, Houston.
Wait, who did you say was on the mound?
Valdez. Framber Valdez? No? Am I wrong with that?
I think you are.
Let me just.
Luis Garcia?
Is it a Garcia spot? You know what? Okay. No, my mistake. But it is Garcia on the hill.
Frankie Montas.
Montas enough. I hope somebody picks him up and he has a Jose Barrios like 5.52 ERA after they acquire him. He's trash. The whole organization is trash. And I think Houston jumps over them early. Mr. Poo-Poo. I could see Altuve having 5 hits tonight. Astros 16-2. Garcia 8 innings, 17 strikeouts, no earned runs.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, Tony.
That is
what it is all about. And, we sit here today and we still don't have any movement on Juan Soto or really any other trades. I know we got a little time till the deadline.
We do have some time. Didn't you say you want something quick was going to happen? Something early?
Yeah, I did. And here we are.
And
we have nothing. So that kind of annoys me. And I guess there's been a little chatter, people, kind of suggesting, maybe Xander Bogaerts, could get moved. But supposedly I'm just reading something here that the Red Sox haven't discussed a trade with him. But obviously with them out of contention, him becoming a free agent might be something to consider. I mentioned Quintana yesterday. I mean, he's definitely going to get moved, but that's another guy. I have his 5 ERA that's coming up because let me tell you, his ERA is not sustainable right now. Ian Happ is another name that's been mentioned, but I'm not a big Ian Happ guy. I think he burst onto the scene early when he was a rookie, but it's just he's had a very inconsistent performance over the last few seasons, and almost to the point where at times that he might get released. And so just because he was their all-star representative this season, I just say not so fast. I don't know what your thoughts are on Happ.
No, yeah, I don't want him. Come on, I don't think he has the stuff.
No,
he does not. I really don't think. Remember him, Cubs, right?
Yeah.
Trash. Come on,
absolute trash.
Absolute trash on the Cubs.
Kind of like former Met great Jed Lowry, who's beginning a rehab assignment with AAA Las Vegas. Speaking of the Mets, that used to be their AAA farm team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're just gonna see guys from these bad teams get moved, and I don't know. I don't know. Other than Castillo, other than Soto, maybe you want to include Brian Reynolds in this. All-star Andrew Benintendi. I don't know. I don't know how many. I know I just said I don't know 8 times, but I really don't know how many quality guys are actually available. I think we got a lot of frauds. I know, we did see that last night that they're considering Mancini and former Yankee Dylan Tate possibly going to the Mets. I like that, but once again, it's like, I don't. Did Mancini? Did he make the All-Star team or no?
No.
Oh no, because Mullins, right?
Yeah.
But I think that would be solid for the Mets. But I all I'm saying is I just don't think those are guys that you give up a lot for. You give up mid-level guys for.
Right.
So if that can get the job done, then go for it.
Yeah, I would say so too. But I feel like those are guys too where, you give it the mid-level guys, maybe not thinking of much, but they can get hot at the right time and they can make a big impact for your team.
And I know Mancini can play outfield. So, I mean, if they do get him, can they work around having Vogelbach on the team as well?
Yeah, I think so.
That'll be something they'll have to consider.
Yeah.
And then another guy who really pitched well yesterday that I could see getting moved. How about Merrill Kelly on Arizona? I've always thought he has decent stuff. 8 scoreless, nothing to scoff about. I know the Giants, haven't been, that good. But it's saying on here likely to stick around. But 3.04 ERA with the need for pitching, the more teams in it this year, the additional wild card spot. If they're offered something decent, if you're the Arizona Diamondbacks, I mean, he's not 21 years old. How do you not make that deal?
Oh my God, yeah, he's old, right? Isn't he like 34 something like that?
I don't know about I don't have it in front of me. Let me see here actually.
Let me try and look it up. Let's see, 1-7 nothing. Mercury 8 innings. Mercury 33.
Okay, you were right. You were right there. I guess I don't know if he came up late. I'm just trying to see. Yeah. I mean, believe it or not, I don't know how this is even possible. His rookie year, he was 30 years old.
Yeah, 2019.
That's interesting. And then okay. So he took 5 years off from baseball. Or maybe he pitched in Japan.
Maybe.
But yeah, 2014, he was in AAA for the Rays and then didn't return to Major League Baseball till 2019 with the Diamondbacks. So, wow, that's interesting. So yeah, all of that being said, Tony, the only other thing I wanted to mention, different sport here. And I don't think we really touched on it yesterday, or did we? Did we touch on the Kyler Murray extension?
I don't think we did.
Okay, so $230 million, over 5 years. And I just think it's embarrassing and an indictment almost on the franchise that, you're giving them basically the keys to the team and you have to put in there that there's 4 hours of weekly film study mandated and otherwise the contract can be voided. I mean, isn't that crazy or no?
4 hours of what?
Film study, because I guess it's been known. He says, yeah, I just rely on my athletic ability. I'm playing video games. I'm not watching film. Like, he straight up said that.
I mean, yeah, like you said, to give the keys to a guy like that for the team. I mean, I feel like that's just a bad attitude. That shows a lack of discipline, a lack of, I guess, dedication. You can even see too, because film, I mean, is a huge important part to anything, dude. I mean, how do we get better at doing this? We watch our past episodes.
Right.
It's like, what are we talking about, dude? I think that's a real shit attitude out of him. But I suppose, I mean, having that in the contract, I mean, he's gonna have to do it, right?
Yeah, and I think he will, but it's like also maybe his attitude's changed because, like we said, he's going in with the attitude that I'm athletic, I can get anything done. But you look at his start to his NFL career. I mean, he's only 24 at the moment. And your mother says he's an idiot. Rookie year, 5-10-1 as a starter, so obviously no playoffs. 20 touchdowns, 12 picks, and ran the ball a little bit as well. Kind of ascended a decent amount his second year, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and his QBR jumped up from 57.7 to 61.9. But then we look at last season, misses 3 games, 24 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, 69% completion. So the completion is rising. And, the quarterback rating 100.6, but QBR was 57.3, which is interesting. So with all that being said, I think it's been a little inconsistent, and this second half tail off for the Cardinals has been real the last 2 years. You look at it, 2020, they end up missing the playoffs altogether. I think after, I want to say, an 8-4 start or something along those lines. And then last year, the hot start, I think they were the last undefeated team in the league, and they just lose in the first round of the playoffs. So, I mean, I think a question has to be asked, and I don't know if it's part, like we said, of him, relying on the athletic ability, but can you win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray? I mean, I think that's the biggest question.
I think you can.
But what has the team missed the last 3 seasons as to why that hasn't happened?
Well, I think, again, you talk about, a position that Kyler Murray has, obviously quarterback, right, leader of the team. One thing I feel like he's lacked, it was experience. I mean, you saw how good they were last year, but they just went into quite the downward spiral towards the tail end of the season, and that's why they didn't really have much to show for it, I feel. But I feel like with Murray's, obviously experiencing that, I would imagine he's learning from that, especially now that he's in film. That adds another aspect of how he's going to improve, how he's going to be able to lead the team. I think, like you said, maybe his attitude has changed and he's got more experience, and those two things, because we know he's talented. He knows he's talented. But I think acquiring those two things, experience and I guess that attitude change, that I think will be a difference maker.
And, we talk about winning Super Bowls. I mean, he's got to win playoff games first. Only one career playoff game. I mentioned it last year, 19-34, only 137 yards passing, 2 interceptions, was sacked twice, and only had 6 yards rushing. And a guy that, that kind of stands out. Oh, he has that running ability. And it's just like to get completely bottled up like that. I mean, maybe that's just evident of a guy who's not watching film.
I mean, I would say so, but was I wrong to say ankle problem at that time?
I mean, but I think he was. Maybe it wasn't 100%.
Right.
I'm kind of blanking here. I just want to see. I think they played the Rams, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. I feel so long ago. Jeez.
Yep. So they lost 34-11, and started the game down 21-0 at halftime. So. Is that a leader? Does a leader let you down that get down 21-0 at halftime? Does a leader like that deserve $160 million guaranteed at signing?
I mean, they're betting on him, obviously, but I think, like I said, I mean, the ability is more than there. It's just other things you have to change. And I think you're going to see a more improved Kyler Murray, and I think they're going to, I guess, surprise you, Barnes.
What is their ceiling this year?
Like in terms of Super Bowl champions?
Or just where they finish in the playoffs?
It's kind of hard to say, I guess, now, but I don't know. Second round? Third round?
Probably worth $160 million, right?
Third round? I mean, it's an investment, Brian. He's how old is he now? What's it going to be?
24.
24?
Former number 1 overall pick.
I think to lock him up is a smart move by them. Because I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Like in terms of he's going to be a wash in 2 years.
Yeah,
there's no way.
I always get concerned though about the quarterback that's under 6 feet. I mean, you put the hands up, you bat the pass down, and then just they tend to get 2 feet happy. And when you're doing that. And you're not looking to throw, I mean, I think that could be a problem. And I think we saw too Hopkins miss a lot of time last year. So I think that's key. Hopkins needs to be healthy for him. And it'll be interesting to see if he gets that chemistry going with former, Oklahoma teammate Hollywood Brown. I think that'll be key, if we can combine those things and really just have, a solid running game. But I think this is a huge year for Kyler Murray. My only thing is short of, it's like, how can the Cardinals, the way they are currently constructed, and I know, injuries happen, this and that, but you think about their competition in the NFC, the Rams, I mean, we saw what they did to them in the playoffs last year. I would be hard pressed to think that they're going to lose a game to them. Right. So you kind of look at that. And then what about the Packers? I know they lost Devontae Adams, but still and you would, the Packers always have a really good regular season. So you'd imagine they'd have to go into Lambeau. Is Kyler Murray going to Lambeau and winning a playoff game?
I think it's possible. Yeah.
I would give it a 2% chance.
2%? I think it's way too early to be talking about this too, by the way.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
It's current news, Tony.
I know it's current news, but to be like, the Super Bowl is not current news right now.
Bucks also. They're not beating the Bucks.
What about the Bucks? Oh.
The only team I would feel comfortable that they have a pretty good shot would be the Cowboys, because the Cowboys are the Cowboys. McCarthy, does he make it to midseason?
Yeah, I think he does.
Product of the weak division, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
look at the division, dude.
I mean, the Eagles, Hurts is a question mark.
The Giants, they're a question mark.
Jones is a question mark.
Yeah.
The Commanders, Carson Wentz is a question mark.
The name of the team is a question mark, dude.
Yeah. So
it's ridiculous.
NFL around the corner, right?
It is around the corner. Summer camp started?
Yes. Yeah. All the teams have. Is it training camp?
Training camp, summer camp, whatever, dude.
Yeah, I think it is training camp. Because mini camp is the involuntary or voluntary. That's what I meant. Camp before. But I think, just kind of as we come to a close here, Tony, I mean, I think you can even acknowledge, I know you've obviously been always just, about rugby, but I could see you having a little more enthusiasm on the gridiron this year.
It's only because I have to. All right. It's not because I want to. No, I mean, obviously, it's entertaining for sure. It's just, I think football is just, talked about. It's like way too much. honestly.
Well-
Like right now, people are like, "Is Kyler Murray going to win a Super Bowl?" It's like you haven't seen him take a snap yet.
Yeah, but Tony, I mean, I think we set a good example. I mean, what
We
did we
do.
talk about baseball for 40 minutes and
Yeah,
we
we
put
did.
5 minutes into the NFL? I
No,
think that's all
great.
right.
Yeah,
right? That's a good
no, I
ratio.
think
We don't
that's
see
a
that too much.
Great ratio. You never see that. In fact, this morning I saw Max Kellerman talk 20 minutes about baseball to start the show off, and that was just like beyond holy shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't great talk, but it was talk, so that's good.
Kellerman on baseball or Bart Scott on baseball?
Wait, which one's better?
Like, what would you rather hear?
Oh, I mean, Scott doesn't know anything, but at least he doesn't pretend to know everything like Max Kellerman. I think we have a caller into the show, by the way.
Wow.
Hold on 1 second.
Saved by the bell.
Good morning. You're on the sports report. What would you like to talk about?
Hello, boys. It's Michael.
Michael.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing, bud?
I wish I was connected so I could hear Barnes a little better. I know you didn't connect yourself to the Bluetooth there, Tony.
No, yeah, it should. Hold on. I may have the option here. I don't know right now.
It's okay. I want to. Can Barnes hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Big Knicks news.
What do we
Can
got?
you hear me? Big
Oh yeah, we got you.
What
I
do we
know
have,
the
Michael?
Trade that was initially offered with 6 first-round picks, Quentin Grimes, quickly Obi Toppin, and I think that's it. Or there might be one more player added to that. And the Knicks said you could go kick rocks, right? And the other offer, which is what my source.
Did we
Did
lose
we
him?
lose him? Michael.
Michael. Hold on. Michael, you still there?
What kind of operation is this?
Sorry, dude. No, we lost you for a second. Where are you?
There's no way you could lose me. I have full bars.
All right.
What's the second trade offer?
I got 1 bar. That's probably the reason.
Renee joins us.
So the offer that they're getting, that's the best offer they could get, which is the counter from the Knicks,
Yep.
is 4 picks, Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier,
And Cam
And-
Reddish.
and who was the other?
Cam
two?
Reddish.
And Cam Reddish. Tell me that, Barnes, if we do that, if we pull that off, that is not a heist.
It's a heist, and I just can't believe that just literally because of Fournier.
Dude, and
Why are the
what's
Jazz
crazy-
considering this?
No. Bro, Fournier, Toppin we keep, and quickly.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I don't understand, especially for what they got for Gobert. How do
Well,
they not
dude,
value
that's the
Mitchell
thing.
more?
They fucked up with Gobert, and everybody saw how stupid that was. And basically, no one's offering anything better for Mitchell.
Unbelievable. So
That's the word in the NBA. No one is offering anything better than what the Knicks are offering.
That's crazy.
I know.
And
And it's still, because you know what? We still have Randall as a trading block straight up for fucking Zion. You know, because he just signed that 5-year deal.
Randall's not going anywhere unless he's getting traded for Russell
no,
Westbrook.
dude. Here we go. Big 3, Zion, Mitchell, and RJ.
Oh my God.
Classic.
Always appreciate Michael tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
Always. And what I was going to ask you, Tony, not to just cross back here, but just last question for you on the way out.
Mhm.
What do you think would grasp your interest most on the gridiron this year to really get you invested? Like what would, really pique your interest?
Oh, geez. Oh, it's a tough question. I don't know. I mean, I guess if the Giants are doing well, I'd be a little more inclined to watch.
So, and are we talking, let's say 5-0 start, best start in probably 20 years, or not 20 years, but at least 10 probably. Then you're dialed in, you're ready for every game, or you still need to see more to be that excited?
Yeah, I guess 5-0. I mean, I'd be pretty, I don't know how dialed in I'll be. I don't know, Brian. It's a tough question for me, dude.
I think it'll be easier. Like, let's say the Mets, collapse in September. You need something, right or no?
No, that's not gonna happen.
I mean, I'll say they're locked to make the playoffs. I'll give you that. Definitely locked to make the playoffs.
Appreciate that, dude.
Division, I mean, they're gonna duke it out.
Come on, dude.
Division will come down to the last week. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I mean, that'll be fun, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everybody likes a division race.
Oh yeah, dude.
So can't wait for that. But
Mhm.
other than that, Tony, anything else on the way out here? Sport.
Oh, there definitely was something. Oh, actually, and again, to talk about Max Kellerman, they were talking about how, Kyler Murray was, obviously a multi-sport athlete, and how he was slotted to get drafted by the Oakland A's. And then, they got into talking about how, any kid would pick, football over baseball. Because, the fact of the matter is he probably wouldn't be in the majors yet. Maybe he would be, but what's he making? Like $3 million a year? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. Versus what's he making now? 50?
Right. The only thing with that is though, and I know, patience, of course, but let's say, he's out of the league in a couple of years.
Right.
So it gets to that 160 or whatever it is. And then, but if he was baseball, 20-year career, $300 million contracts, body not beat up. I mean, you got to think about that as well.
In the last couple of years, if he leaves the NFL, he probably can go to the MLB.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be crazy.
I would like to see him try to pull it off, but I know it's just
to go to baseball.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, the teams will not let you do it unless you're the owner's son.
Oh, to do both?
Yeah.
Yeah, no way. That would be awesome.
Yeah. So kind of interesting stuff for sure. But all I can say, Tony, is I'm excited for the Subway Series tonight, and I can't wait to see what happens and recap it all with everyone tomorrow. But we really do appreciate everyone tuning in today and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe, as well as check out the archives on the YouTube page and of course, Tony in costume. And like we said yesterday, Tony making pizzas. You knew I had to do it. I had to do it. I absolutely had to do it. As well as the summer collection, Downtime the summer collection.com. But
we'll do the fall collection together soon.
Fall collection will be coming. Hopefully some Yankees World Series merchandise.
Yeah.
But everybody, enjoy this wonderful day, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.